Hello Internet! I'm doing a quick review for Comic Vine for the Comic Vine reviewers, and it's for Action Comics 900. What's very interesting about this issue is that it is issue 900 of Action Comics, a monument for American pop culture and just kind of world human culture, where we have a serial that's run for 900 issues focused on the same story, more or less. I mean, we all know Superman comics have done a lot, and there's crossovers and yada yada, so in some ways it's linked into even more, and certainly spawns so much more. We all know how monumental Action Comics is just for being there, and reaching 900 is just a nice reminder of how much has spawned from this. And what's interesting is here we have the end of the Black Ring arc, which is Lex Luthor's bit on Action Comics, so for a while it was not Superman's comic, and also the Reign of Doomsday, which has focused with Superman and played with Superman from my understanding, but not been an exclusively Superman story. And here we have this comic that's so focused on Superman for all the obvious reasons, for him having essentially been away for a while, and I think this is going to be a bigger thing as Superman is coming back. And that's been something we've seen for a while. 52 Trinity, they've been trying to play a world without Superman without playing it up quite to that level, and here we have this big return of Superman, and I think it's going to be a big thing, and this is going to be pointed back to as the marker that started all that. The story itself is interesting, although I will say that I guess the bad of this comic is, I mean, this is Action Comics 900. I mean, some people are going to be picking up this comic as just 'cause, and they're going to be lost. Even I was a little bit lost. I haven't been following Action Comics, I haven't been following the Reign of Doomsday, but I know more or less what's going on through the grapevine. And so, I get it, but people just picking up, they're going to be wondering who a lot of these characters are. There's some reference to, like, LaFreeze, who's been mentioned. Death is brought up, and certainly a lot of comic fans know who Death is from the Sandman lore, but to a lot of other people, it's just implied here, and they see this weird goth chick, and they're not going to get her bits there. So I think that's a failing for this kind of comic. Normally, I would not say anything against that. But come on, Action Comics 900, this is a chance to bring in new readers. The backups in this issue are interesting yet inconsequential, which is sad to see because a lot of the art behind them is gorgeous. And it's not really the failing of the authors. They were given such a small space, they couldn't do much with it. So ultimately, what I would say is that this comic is worth picking up if you've been following either of the two storylines. You could surmise the rest from what's been going on, or if you're a passing Superman fan, you know, pick it up. It's an interesting story, and you can pick up what's been going on along the way if you have kind of the background knowledge to fill the gaps. If you haven't been following anything, you're not really so into Superman, it's sadly not worth it, and it should be. So that's my feeling, is that a good chunk of people are going to pick this up anyways, but it was a well-written comic, it was well done, but for something that's supposed to be this monument to a feat in American culture, I feel it played a little too heavily into what's already been going on when this is something that should be more standalone. And then the standalone stuff in the back is so inconsequential and so random that it doesn't bear any weight and wouldn't help sway to the other way of what I'm talking about, to where new readers would read some of those and be like, oh, that's great, maybe I just need to read more. No, they're just going to read those and think, whatever. So, yeah. It's sad to say that a comic that's, you know, pretty well done just can't measure up to what this needs to be. Though, to be fair, what this needed to be is something that happens about never. But then again, how often does an event like this come along? I guess 100 issues from now, it's an even bigger monument. It's their chance to make it up. So in about a decade, we'll see.